Wonders of Gulf of America, the hidden places. No one talks about. Travel guide. Here is a truth that slips under most people's radar. The Gulf of America holds one of the richest coastal ecosystems in the entire nation, yet the world still fixates on only a handful of well-known beaches. What gets overlooked is the quiet magic layered along the hidden stretches of coastline, places where the water glows with soft shades of blue and the shorelines feel untouched, as if waiting patiently for anyone willing to see beyond the usual travel map. These places matter because they remind travelers that beauty is not always loud. Sometimes it sits silently, hoping someone curious enough will discover it. And as this guide unfolds, each destination reveals its own secret rhythm, nudging viewers to look deeper than the postcard versions of the Gulf they already know. Shell Key Preserve. Shell Key Preserve rises from the water like a quiet haven sculpted by the tides, offering a shoreline so pristine that the colors shift in soft gradients as the sun slides across the sky. Approaching the island brings a mix of anticipation and calm, the kind created by still water and gentle breezes. While some travelers imagine that reaching a remote key means stress or complicated access, the experience here is simple and calming, as the landscape naturally slows the pace of anyone who steps onto its sand. Birds move in sweeping arcs overhead. The surf breaks in a rhythmic whisper, and the entire island feels wrapped in a stillness that encourages deeper breathing and slower steps. Grand Isle Marsh Trails. The marsh trails of Grand Isle move like a gentle story told through water and wind, with tall grasses leaning into each moment, as if guiding visitors further along the boardwalk. The space opens gradually, revealing pockets of still water reflecting the sky like a polished mirror. Some visitors hesitate when hearing the word marsh, imagining mud or heavy terrain, yet the experience here is surprisingly graceful. The air feels light, the surroundings shift in soft layers, and the wildlife appears without dramatics, blending into the environment with effortless harmony. Every turn reveals another scene crafted with calm detail. A bird resting, water rippling, light stretching across the horizon. Boca Chica's hidden shoreline. Boca Chica's quiet shoreline stretches forward with a peaceful openness that makes the horizon feel endlessly accessible. The waves arrive in gentle rolls, each one leaving behind small trails of foam that shimmer as the light changes. Concerns about remote beaches feeling empty or monotonous fade immediately, because the details here are rich and constantly shifting. The texture of the sand, the subtle variations in the wind, the colors drifting across the water. The beach carries an atmosphere that settles into the mind, offering the kind of silence that feels soothing rather than empty. Horn Island. Horn Island rises like a quiet barrier between land and open water, shaped by long stretches of untouched sand and dunes that roll into the distance. Approaching the island feels like stepping into a place where nature controls the narrative without forcing it. The dunes cast soft shadows, the shoreline curves in graceful lines, and the water laps against the edge with a steadiness that anchors the entire environment. Concerns about ruggedness fade once the landscape reveals its gentle balance of wild and serene. Driftwood rests like natural sculptures. The breeze carries the scent of salt, and the island creates a sense of separation from the busy world without creating discomfort. Cedar Key's offshore islands. Beyond the familiar streets of Cedar Key lie quiet offshore islands that feel suspended in time, where shallow water glows with soft reflections and the shoreline curves in smooth, untouched arcs. The air carries hints of marshland sweetness, while the water remains calm enough to create patterns that ripple across the surface in slow waves. Travelers sometimes expect offshore islands to feel empty or lacking character, yet these hold a unique charm built from subtle beauty. Shells arranged by the tide, birds gliding effortlessly, and sunlight creating soft textures across the sand. The Forgotten Coast of Apalachicola. The Forgotten Coast lives up to its name by offering a shoreline untouched by the fast pace of modern travel. The beaches widen into long, peaceful stretches where the sound of the waves blends into the wind in a way that feels grounding. The region carries a nostalgic spirit, as though the Gulf gently protected this area from the rush of development. Some imagine that forgotten means plain, But the landscapes here reveal the opposite. A coast glowing with warm tones at sunrise, shallow waters shimmering with natural clarity, and skies that stretch endlessly overhead. Ship Island's western shore. The western side of Ship Island holds a sense of calm that differs entirely from the more familiar areas visitors usually explore. Here, the shoreline bends softly, creating long views where the water shifts in gentle blues, and the sand carries patterns shaped by the tide. This part of the island does not seek attention. Instead, its beauty lies in the subtle interactions of light, wind, and water. Travelers sometimes assume a lesser-known area offers less to see, yet each step along the western shore reveals a new detail: a cluster of shells, lines drawn by waves, or the smooth curve of untouched sand. San Antonio Bay's wild coast. San Antonio Bay stretches outward in wide, quiet scenes that blend water, wetlands, and sky into a single seamless view. The horizon softens where the bay meets the air, giving the entire area a gentle, dreamlike tone. People unfamiliar with the bay might assume it is meant only for fishing, but the landscape holds far more than that. The slow roll of the water, the subtle colors of the marshland, and the feeling of openness that settles calmly into the senses. Each wave that touches the shoreline seems to carry a message of ease, encouraging anyone standing nearby to slow down. Padre Island, National Seashore's remote stretch. The remote stretch of Padre Island feels like the Gulf opened itself completely, allowing the coastline to run forward in an uninterrupted sweep of sand and water. The waves come in with steady rhythm, forming a natural soundtrack that moves across the entire shoreline. Concerns about monotony disappear quickly because the landscape shifts continuously. Dunes reshape, colors deepen and fade with the daylight, and tide pools collect small wonders in their glassy surfaces. Sunlight drifts across the sand in long, warm lines, creating a sense of peaceful expansion that feels both grounding and uplifting. Bayou La Batre's quiet waterfront. Bayou La Batre offers a waterfront with character carved from years of connection between land and water. Boats rest in the harbor with gentle motion. The marsh grasses sway in slow movements, and the entire shoreline presents a calm, settled personality. Visitors often expect fishing towns to feel loud or bustling, yet this waterfront carries a soft energy that encourages quiet observation. Reflections ripple across the bayou's surface in delicate shapes, and each shift of light creates a new color across the water. The Gulf of America holds treasures far beyond the typical destinations, each one carrying its own quiet wonder and understated beauty. These hidden places remind travelers that the most unforgettable moments often come from landscapes shaped gently rather than loudly. For anyone captivated by peaceful coastlines and overlooked gems, this journey only scratches the surface of what the Gulf has to offer. To stay connected with more explorations and future guides, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the hidden Gulf place that surprised you the most. More untouched destinations and unseen corners of the world await in the next adventure.